Hotter than I remember, drier than every year before. Buried what I hope don't go in the whole damn world's a war. Liable to come a knocking any day now they're due. Said a man come round was asking some things that might lead back to you. I'll be damned if I go easy. Ain't no man gonna take my pride. Just as soon dig one more hole laying down there by your side. Give him one good reason and not go messing in my ground. Mind his own damn business as he suspects I don't fuck around. Now lay me down, my wretched soul. One day I'll walk your streets of gold. Forgive me, Lord, for all my sins. I hope pearly gates will let me in.
What's up, guys? How you living? You doing good?
Said a man showed up last Tuesday in a brand new Model T. Said his boy went missing, was wondering if he'd been seen. Picture looked familiar to many folks here in this town. He was always with that phone girl, see him and her, they were running round. Lay me down, my wretched soul, one day I'll walk your streets of gold. Forgive me, Lord, for all my sins, hold pearly gates, so let me in.
Nailed it.
When he pulled up, I was waiting in the trees there off the side. Saw him holding something, it wouldn't have mattered if he tried. Laid him down real easy, bleeding there out by the side of the boy that he was after. Those who seek, so shall they find. Lay me down, my wretched soul, one day I'll walk your streets of gold. Forgive me, Lord, for all my sins, hope pearly gates will take me in.
All right. Getting the audio stream ready. Okay. It takes time and patience talk. That's what we're calling this one. Because it takes time and patience, man. It takes time and fucking patience. Before we go any farther, if you guys have not checked out the website yet, I encourage you to do so. Get all this stuff here. Got a lot of stuff going on the screen here. I'm experimenting. Obviously, you guys can tell with different screen backgrounds and such. I've been messing around with that over the last couple of streams, which I'll be talking about soon once I get the audio rolling, because I want to catch the first part of audio as well. But before I do that, I do want to come in here and bring that down just a little bit over here. Oh, you see the glitch in there? So check out the check out the podcast website. Should have just done that to start with. Check out the website. We've got all the cool stuff here. Links to YouTube here, and added a tip jar. Got a Instagram over here and Facebook over here. And I've also got all of the episodes somewhere. I don't know why they're not showing up here, but oh well, what can you do? You know, what can you do? What can you do, right? There we go. I like that. I like the woods. The woods are fun. So I'm going to bring this. Oh, no, not that. This over here. Bring this over here. That way I can see when you guys be chatting. I'm going to go ahead and go hot on this audio. All right. Let's get to it, huh? Let's get to it. Nailed it. All right. Great. Oh, that's just great. That's just great news. That's great to hear. Nobody said anything. There's no great news. There's some pretty good news. The Braves aren't quite done yet, but I've got them on television over here muted. We just went up pretty good in this game, so I'm hoping that it ends the same way that it is going right now. So, that all being said, the thing that I was talking about just a minute ago was that you guys probably see that I'm experimenting with a couple of new screens here. And obviously those watching YouTube, if you've ever watched YouTube before, I've been messing around with a few different backgrounds. Like I've got this one, I got the one with the websites there, and obviously I got a very simple one that I like a lot that's very clean, that doesn't have anything. But this one right here is one that you're going to be seeing a lot coming around the corner. This is for MI Stuff Radio, and it is going to be happening a lot coming around soon. You guys see that pretty well. So yeah, that's going to be happening a lot coming up soon. Now, I put a post on Facebook about this thing. I put a post on Facebook about this thing and tried to get a little feedback from some of the local artists. And I said local artists, and I got a little pushback from that. Like, folks are, why is it got to be local, or do I count? And like, if you know me and you're on my Facebook page, yes, you count. If you've made original music, yes, you count. And speaking of which, I'm gonna, before I get too far in here, I'm gonna take this and put it on the Facebook here that I'm live now, talking about MI Stuff Radio. Musicians, local or not, check it out. Oh, it would help if I put the damn link in, right? There we go. All right, so yes, we wanted to get that shared out so that I can get as much feedback as possible from the musicians around. And yes, it's not just local. It's also anybody who I know, or anybody that knows me. If you create music and I know you, and it's not even if I don't know you, if you create music and you're from this sort of, I mean, yeah, you don't even have to be from this area. But if you create music and you know me and it is original content, then that is what I'm going to be geared towards playing. I know this is taking a really long time to explain, and I'm sorry for that. But this is going to be something that I think is very, very beneficial to our area, because we have so many live musicians that come to this area that play a lot of original music. And I just think that we have a wealth of talent. I was on the phone with brother Daryl, brother DC from Bravos Win. I was on the phone with Daryl DC from Jam City Studios. He is the guy who produced the Get Trippy or Die gang, who was in here, the Get Trippy or Die folks. He also produced Jamie Deluxe music, and he's produced a lot of other artists. And we discussed some things that I'm not gonna air out yet. We're gonna let him wait until he's good with releasing maybe what we talked about. But in talking to him, I realized that there's just so many local artists and there's so much talent in this area that we really could have the wealth of talent that came out of New York or LA or Memphis or Nashville or New Orleans. I really believe that this area has the kind of talent that would match those places. So I had this idea a few days ago where I was just going to utilize my channel to play my original music. And then I thought, because I've always been interested in radio, then I thought, well, what if I did literally more artists than just me? Like, what if I added more local artists to this, like more artists that I know to this thing, and get their permission to do a video with all of their music and my music, and just literally make a playlist of all the people who give me permission to play their music, and just put that playlist on shuffle and let that play for a while. And like, I'll be literally make it like radio, and I would like publish this stuff to my podcast page. Actually, I probably wouldn't do that. And honestly, I might just publish these things for like a week and give you a week to listen to whatever I do, and then like keep deleting that video and refreshing it every time. Like, I hear you. Brother Jamie's going live right now. But anyway, yes, I'm really thinking about doing that. Really thinking heavily about maybe getting started with doing a little radio stuff. And I talked to a lot of folks on Facebook who are very cool with allowing me to do this. But I definitely want like actual permission, like written permission that I have from the artist, so that when I get notified from YouTube that I'm playing copywritten music, because I know a lot of these folks have copyrighted their music, and some folks might not want me to play their stuff for free on YouTube, but I'm trying to bill it as that it's literally just a radio station. I'll leave it published for like, a week, and then I'll switch it out with another thing, and it'll be a lot of the same stuff, but switching up the order of the songs and the artist. And as new music is released, we can like break new music almost, break new music almost. And I just really think that would be cool. I'm into radio pretty heavily. As a kid, I grew up listening to Casey Kasem doing the top 40 every Saturday morning, and I was just in love with that. I would literally wake up early enough on Saturday morning to listen to Casey Kasem do the top 40, and I would love to be that person for local music. Obviously not a top 40, because not a ranking at all between us, but I would just like to do my part to spread local music. And I keep saying local, and don't think that I mean that means that people from Columbia or other folks who are just not from this area at all, but just maybe unknown music, like things that you haven't heard. And we have so much of it locally, which is why I call it local music. But I made that post to gear towards a specific group of people, and I think I got that specific group of people. What's up, Joe? Right on, man. I really appreciate that. I have my moments, I think. I think that Yeah, I think that I wouldn't do bad with it. But the thing is that because I'm using YouTube as my way to basically get this out, I keep forgetting that not everybody has upgraded their YouTube account, and that way you can play videos with the app closed and things. Like I've realized that not everybody has done that. So it might be easier for me to listen to something, just put something on YouTube and then just close the app out, and then I can go and do other things on my phone when everybody's like, how do you listen to that many podcasts a day? There's no way that you listen to that many podcasts and do all the other stuff that you do. Well, you can if you pay for the YouTube and have the app just playing as you're using other things, which I do encourage a lot of you folks to do. It's like, I think $12.99 a month. I encourage you to get the upgraded YouTube, the YouTube Premium, and I really encourage you to do that. But anyway, yeah. So that explains the whole part of the part of the MI Stuff Radio thing that I'm going to be doing. So we just wanted to give a little bit of time to that in the beginning. Also, check out the. Oh, they split the Google Play and YouTube subscription. That's a bummer. I don't know if all mine's together or not. I can't remember. I've got the creator thing. I think it's still only like $13 if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, that's beside the point. What I really wanted to talk about today is I hold this guitar a lot when I'm doing this podcast now, when I'm doing solo talks, and it kind of helps me a lot. It helps me think, it helps me voice what I want to say and get out what I want to say and things. And it really took me, and I think it sounds pretty damn good, not to brag. I try to make it my point to not brag too much. But I think that the guitar sounds pretty damn good, and I like the way it sounds, but it wasn't always that way. And that is a thought that I had the other day when I was going to write my blog, and I sat down to write the blog, and I started messing around with YouTube and messing around with Facebook, and I totally lost my thought. And I ended up writing my blog about something completely different. And so anyway, yeah, the thing that I was going to do was about guitar. I was going to use guitar as an analogy. The first time that I learned how to play a chord on guitar, my granddad sat me down on a stool in front of him, and he said, "You gonna listen to me?" He said, "You're gonna do exactly what I tell you to do, or I ain't gonna teach you." He says, "You do exactly what I tell you, just how I tell you to do it, or I'm not going to help you." So I was like, okay. Show me where to put my fingers, right here, and right here. Show me the G. Show me how to do that. And then he said, all right, now you put this finger here, and this one down here, and you let go all every rest of them and make a C. And that's how you make a C. And then he said, then you bring down here all the way at the bottom, and you put one finger here, one finger here, one finger here, and that's the D. He said, now you learn how to do them three chords and switch back and forth between them, and you'll be able to play any country song in the world. And then he said, like this one, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. Something messed up on the audio here. You never know, dear, how much I love you. So please don't take my sunshine away. That's the first song he ever taught me how to play, was You Are My Sunshine. He sent me off into my room to go learn those chords, and he said that you go and learn them chords. He said, if you learn them, I'll teach you something else. And by the time I went off and I learned them, I was sitting in my room and I was playing Only Sunshine, and then I had to look and go, I was doing that a lot, you know, because you don't really know how to do no strumming or anything. You're just figuring out how to make the chords, and then you have to look again, and that sounds all right, you know, if you're not a musician at all, but that you figuring out where you put your fingers and all that, it sounds a little sloppy. And I realized that everybody I was very upset for a while, and I wanted to stop. My granddad obviously wouldn't let me. Everybody, I got a part of this song where I was like, stay on my bed and I'd play them all night, but he didn't mind. He just gave me time. And I was thinking about that, and I was wondering about equating that to life. In the way that I can do this now, and I can do this now, all of these things that my granddad didn't have to teach me, you know, he just sent me on the path that would get me here. And I wonder, I want to say this right, and I see a lot of people around me who just gawk at the things that other people have, and they talk about all of the things that these other folks have in their lives, and the good things that they have, and the positivity that they have, and truly all of the good things that they have in their lives, that the person that I like, that some people that I know may feel like they're deprived. Oh, well, why do they have this thing? I don't have this thing. And my gut instinct on most of those sorts of thoughts that come towards me, or not towards me, or that I hear or that I see somebody have, I'm like, well, you just seem a little bitter about somebody getting something that you didn't get. But it's not necessarily them being bitter, it's them who are not willing to work as hard. It's them not willing to work as hard as the other people. Like, I literally walked through my house holding, I carried a guitar everywhere. There was a picture I posted on Facebook. Was it yesterday? Maybe this morning or yesterday. It was a memory on Facebook with me sitting out in front of Shiloh United Methodist Church in Bennettsville, South Carolina. And I had a guitar, and I always carried a guitar with me everywhere I went. Always had a guitar on my back. And the strap, actually, of that guitar in that picture is the strap that I wrap around my mic stand. It's the only strap that I ever had until it broke, and now I wrap it around my mic stand because I never do a gig without it. My granddaddy's strap. But anyway, everywhere I went, I was holding the guitar. And when I got down, you know, when I got down to playing, "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine," you get what I mean. When I got good and satisfied with how I played that, then I would use the same chords and go, "Wild thing, you make my heart sing," and I would play that over and over until I realized that you can't necessarily play that at church. And most of the people that would listen to me play music were at church. But what you can do in church is, "Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises." We play "Lord, I lift your name on high" till the cows come home. And I'm saying that because I'm trying not to curse as much. But it's going to slip out eventually, but I'm just trying not to today. But anyway, I learned all those chords, and then I was like, man, might need to learn something different. And then I figured that the only way I could do that was to pick a song that I knew really good and get online and look up the chords to it. And that's how I learned how to play. I would get chord sheets off of like ultimateguitar.com. And they had this little chart that would show you how to make the chord that you needed to make to play the song. And that was really cool for me because I was just like, as long as I get my guitar in tune, I can just put my fingers where these little dots and lines say that they're supposed to go. And that way, that's how I learned how to play, was basically on tabs is what those are called. But the point I'm making is that I took a lot of time. There was not, granted, it didn't take me very long to figure out, how to do things. And any instrument I've ever tried to play, it has come pretty easy to me to learn how to play it. And I understand that that's not a normal situation for people. I understand that that's not the way that it works for everybody. But that's the way that it worked for me, and that's how it happened for me. But it happened that way. Guitar was actually a little tougher than everything else. Piano, sat down, learned how to play a song or two, and I knew how to do that immediately. Like it just made sense. Drums, you can ask my daddy, Harold Hudgens. They set up a drum set for me, and Marie helped him set it up the morning of Christmas. And I came in and I came out and I just sat down at the drum set and I started playing them. It wasn't like I started fumbling around. I started hitting the beat, and that's just how it worked. It just is something that I've always been able to do, and I understand that that's not normal for everybody. But for guitar, it was different. For guitar, it was like I picked it up and I couldn't make sense of it. I couldn't make it do what I could make all the other instruments do. I couldn't make it make the sounds that I wanted them to make. And that's probably why I ended up studying the guitar so hard and ended up surpassing all the other instrument abilities with guitar. Because it wasn't easy for me to start with. But once I figured it out, once it clicked, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. People have the ability to do that in life. All it takes is just putting forth the effort and being willing, not necessarily even putting forth the effort, just being willing to put forth the effort. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Do we got it anymore? I think that's it. Oh shit. Anyway, it literally doesn't take putting forth a lot of effort. It just takes being willing to put forth the effort. And I believe that the universe will give that back to you, Like if you go and put forth the effort, you put forth a good bit of effort, the universe will reward you with that effort. And I believe that that is evident in my life in particular, that I've been rewarded by life with certain things that I am able to do for a living that I wanted to do when I was a kid because I put my time towards that. And I hear a lot of people that are like, man, I wish I could do that. I wish I could play the guitar. I wish I could do anything. And it doesn't matter what it is. You plug it in for whatever you're good at in your life. And somebody sees you do that and they're like, man, I wish I could do that thing. My stepdad's brother, Thomas, rest in peace, Uncle Thomas. Uncle Thomas could paint. Uncle Thomas could paint vehicles like, and I know that sounds like maybe a cheesy thing to be good at, but in the South, like that's a pretty big deal to be able to, especially my folks, my stepdad's family were all into used cars. My granddad on my dad's side also did. My granddad that taught me how to play guitar also sold used cars. And anyway, yeah, my stepdad's brother, Uncle Thomas, he could paint like no other. It was like had a very good reputation of painting cars. And my stepdad could clean and fix pretty much any of them. And I just remember people coming up to him and being like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could just, I wish I could fix anything. I wish I could do what you do. And I've just heard a lot of people that I respect throughout my life, like people coming up to my granddad whenever they would come in the house to make a car payment. They would see the piano sitting there and they'd be like, whose piano is that? And that's mine. They'd be like, you play the piano? Yeah, I pick at it a little bit. He used to say I pick at it a little bit. And he would sit down and just bring this box of wood and ivory to life. He would literally just amaze people. And I remember the look on their faces when they saw him do that. I wish I could do that. And everybody sees somebody else do something that they wish that they could do, but they can. It literally just takes the amount of effort that these people are willing to put in. It's like a video game that you get sick of and you stop playing. You're never going to reach the end, and you make up your mind that you're never going to reach the end. But if you keep trying and you keep understanding that, okay, every time I do this, I'm going to get a little bit better at it, then one day you might reach the end. Or if you just abandon the idea of an end, period, then it's unlimited. That's what I did. Just abandon the thought of there being an end. There's no end to learning. There's no end to bettering yourself at anything that you do. There's no end to, and people like to call that talent. And yeah, I can see how maybe having a natural ability to do a certain thing could have a little play into this situation. But I also believe that effort and willing to put forth the effort has a lot to do with that. I believe that's just being willing to put forth the effort in this situation has a lot to do with that. But yeah, I don't know, just I think it took me hearing my Aunt Marie or my granny or whoever else it was that would be like, cut that racket off back there, quit, or put that thing down, for my, like, just listening to me make shitty chords on guitar and just continue to badly play music. And until one day I got to the point to where they started asking me to play music. You know, it was they suffered through it like a husband suffers through a new wife's cooking for years before she gets it right, and then becomes the greatest cook in the world, and your children and grandchildren end up bragging on this food for the rest of their life, like I do my grandmother. Like I wonder, and it's blasphemous me to even think of this, but I wonder if there were ever a time that my granny couldn't cook. I wonder if there was ever a time when she burnt, something, or she cooked something that just wasn't particularly delicious, and that she continued to cook this thing until it slowly became perfect and slowly became delicious. And I'm sure that maybe my grandmother was a cop. I'm sure that maybe her first thing that she wanted to be good at was probably not was probably not like being a good cook. I mean, I'm sure all women, especially in that era, wanted to be a good cook. But you get what I mean. That was probably not her number one goal in life, was to become a great cook. But she did that anyway, just by repetition and attrition and being patient and adding just time, adding time to that art. And I think that anybody could do the same thing. Everybody has that ability. No matter what it is that you want to do, if you continue to do it, you'll be good at it. I didn't particularly enjoy cutting grass, but I did it for a couple of summers one time with my very good buddy Jason. And I'm not by any means that I get good at it, but I got pretty damn good with like trim work, like edging and weed eating and like blowing driveways and shit and all that stuff. Like I've got pretty good at doing stuff like that. And it's just because I continue to do it. And it's like something that you end up doing one day, and I'm using myself as examples here because I know what I've done better than I know what other people have done. And I'll throw some other people in there as an analogy. But I'll throw all of you in there as an analogy. Most of the folks watching this podcast, I would say 100% of the people who watch this podcast, were alive for the introduction of cell phones and smartphones. And I bet damn near all of us right now know how to add a contact to a smartphone or an iPhone, or delete pictures, or I don't know why I said delete pictures, but having a 16 gig iPhone for all those years, I guess. Knowing how to like clear space on your phone whenever it's running out, or knowing how to do simple things on your phone. I'm sure that none of us knew how to do that shit when they came out, but we continued to try. We continued to fuck around with these things. See, I was trying not to talk dirty. I apologize. I'm trying to cut that out a little bit, but just seeing that this ability to maneuver through these little tiny computers that we keep in our pockets is evidence enough. That's evidence enough that we possess the ability to learn anything at any time. It's not necessarily, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not necessarily difficult to learn something that and not difficult, but I mean, it's not hard to learn something that we continue to do. Like, if you continue to mess with something, you're going to fucking learn how to do it. And I think that life is the same way. Like, if you continue to tinker with it and continue to branch out and like don't become content with who you are. And this is all mistakes that I have made in my life that I have learned from my own mistakes. That's one of the MOs in this podcast description, is that I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I invite you to learn from these mistakes so that you don't have to make them yourself. The mistakes that I've made, hold on, let me get these damn strings from making noise. But I know that's probably been annoying, y'all. I'm sorry. I tune out stuff whenever I continue to hear it. But, what was I just saying just now? Shit, I thought about these strings and it started driving me crazy. Shit, now I can't remember what I was just saying. I'm sure it was something to the effects of, oh yes, I use myself as an example of all these things, and I try to use things that I have actually struggled with in my life and air out all these mistakes that I've made so that other people don't have to make them. And I have made the mistake for a very long time of becoming content with my life and becoming content with how I've lived my life and how I am living my life. I've become content with that. And in becoming content with that, it ended up not being very good to those around me, like not being good for relationships around me, because I'm content with my life to the point where I don't think I needed to change any part of it, even if it is for the benefit of other people. And I didn't really notice that until recently, that, you know what, there are other people in this life. There are other people that are in this thing with me. There are other people that are in this vehicle with me, that we are all traveling in the same vehicle, going pretty much to the same destination, and we're all in this thing together. In this thing together is too broad of a statement to use. We're all, like, for me and a very close-knit group of people, are in the same vehicle, in the same car, and we're all heading to the same place. And either I can make this entire trip about me and make it miserable for everyone around me, and then slowly drive them all against me and turn them all against me, or I could just be accepting of them and just let it go, let it be. And that's what I've been doing lately. And every now and again, a little bit of the old whoever the fuck I am will slip out, and I can't really help that. I'm trying to just put more time in between when those parts of me slip out, you know. I just want there to be a longer span of time in between every time that person comes out. Like, if it only happens once every 2 months, the next time I want it to be once every 3 months, and until it just doesn't happen anymore. And one day, I think I'll get to the point where that doesn't happen anymore. But I really just want to try to what do I want to try? I want to try to not want people to live the way that I think that they should just because I think that they should. I want to be more accepting of people, and not just because I think it's the right thing to do, but I want to do that because it is the right thing to do. Not because I think that it might just, oh, well, it's the right thing to do, so I should just let this thing go. I don't want to have that thought and convince myself that it's the right thing to do. I just want to know in my soul and my heart that it's the right thing to do, and for that to be my initial reaction. I want that to be my initial reaction. I guess that's what I'm trying to do in this podcast and in my life slowly, is just to eliminate my need for a filter. Or not necessarily eliminate my need for it, but actually, yes, that's exactly what I mean. I want to delete my filter. I don't want to need a filter anymore. And I've never really had much of a filter anyway. I want to just clean myself. I want to clean myself from the inside out. I want to clean myself. I want to clean my spirit and my mind. I want to cleanse my spirit and my mind of negativity and negative thoughts against other people, or doubt against or doubting other people. I want to constantly project the best in people to them, to encourage them to be that. And I have a really hard time doing that because I'm an asshole. And that's the truth. I really am an asshole. And I know a lot of people who will back up that claim. But I don't want to be that anymore. And I'm really trying to not be that anymore. And every now and again, that asshole will come out just because it's a raw piece of meat that's laid out in front of a tiger that can't help but lick his lips and say, okay, I have to say this thing that is an asshole thing to say, but I have to say it because I'm an asshole. And I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be the person who says things. I don't want to be the person who says things that they do mean, but just don't need to be said. I want to keep all of those things not necessarily in the back of my mind. I just want to keep them to where they're not in my mind at all, to where that thought doesn't occur. To where when I immediately see somebody on Facebook posting something about raising money, I don't automatically think, oh, what drug is going on here? I want to say, oh shit, this person needs my help. And whether financially or not, I would just maybe pray for this person right off the bat instead of immediately thinking, oh shit, well, is this person needing drugs? And that's another reason why I kind of stopped pushing the GoFundMe thing so much, because I know I look at other people like that, and I don't want other people to look at me like that, like I'm just begging for money and things online. But I've never really been in a situation to where I needed to do that. Like I needed to ask people for their money on social media, other than for the podcast. And I think that we're doing well enough to now to where we really don't need a whole hell of a lot more, but By the way, if you want to, it is still there if you want to donate. I also did I set up a tip jar, which is a little bit less aggressive than the GoFundMe. Like a tip jar, if I'm playing songs on here and you guys want to help out at all, that's fine. It's in the description of the YouTube video. It's not a necessity. It's not required. Do not think that at all. But yeah, everybody has the ability to be that great person or be great at something. It literally just takes time that you're willing to put in. There was a time when I could try to play this thing that sounds pretty sweet and soothing right now. There was a time when I could start to play this and everybody in my house would just get fed up and want to send me out to the room off the side of the house. Had a brick wall between us so they couldn't hear me playing the guitar badly all the time. And that's exactly what I did. I ended up going to the room out off the used to be the carport. There's a brick wall between me and the rest of the house, and that was a music room. That's where all the instruments was. And I had a bunk bed out there. And I started sleeping out there. They eventually put me a real bed out there, but that's where I slept. I slept in the music room, and I learned how to play. And the reason I'm using this as an example is to tell you that there was a time when doing this, people would just be fed up with me. And now, people pay me halfway decent to do this in front of crowds of people. And the only thing between the person that used to get told to shut up and stop making that racket to, hey, will you come and play at my bar, is all the time that I was willing to put towards getting here. You can be anything that you want to be, 100%. It's not just something that your parents told you, your grandparents told you. You can be anything that you want to be. All you have to do is literally put your mind to it and literally just go in that direction. Just start walking in that direction and you'll eventually get there. At least I think so. That's how it worked for me. I understand that the way that it worked for me might not be the way that it works for everybody. But it could be. I don't think it could hurt anything to just keep trying. Right? Shouldn't be able to hurt anything, right? That could only benefit, one would think. I took my love and I took it down. Climbed the mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hill. When a landslide brought it down. Oh, mirror in the sky, tell me what is love. And the child in my heart rise above, and I sail through the changing ocean tides, and all the seasons of my life. Oh, Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Lord, I took my love and I took it down, climbed the mountains and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills. Well, the landslide brought it down, till the landslide brought it down, till the landslide brought it down. That's all I got for you today, guys. Be a good person. In a world full of shitty people, don't be one of those people. Be a good person. You can do anything that you want to do. You are in absolute control of your situation. You are in absolute control of every aspect of your life. It is yours. It is all yours to be taken. This whole world is here for you, if you can only figure out how that is. The world is here for you for one specific thing. You just have to figure out what that one specific thing is. And you've always known. You've always known what that one thing is. You've always known what that one thing is. It just takes literally you making up your mind to go and seek that thing out, to go and go balls deep into that one thing. Forget my terminology. You've always known what that one thing is. The thing that your life keeps showing you and keeps telling you this is the thing that you're supposed to do. Even those people who say, oh, I don't have anything in my life, that you're lying. You are absolutely lying. There's something in your life that keeps showing back up, that folks ask for your help with, or that people know you by. You just know. No problem, Abby. Thank you for stopping by. And by the way, excuse me, this is the first time that I have ever scheduled a live show, so I'm going to start doing that whenever it's a solo show, at least. I'm going to start setting a schedule. That way I can, if it's a guest show, there's always room for there being, a little slippage in time between when I plan to go live and when I actually go live. But I will be able to stay pretty much on course as far as the time frame goes. So I'm going to start scheduling more live shows. So just keep on the lookout for that. And I don't know if you guys get notifications. I've also been adding text to the discussion portion of my channel, to just leaving comments up there, talking about things that I'm going to be doing. I've only done 2 so far, but I don't know if you guys get notifications when I do that or not. And that's where I've been stating that I was going to go live. But I think just scheduling just works better. And I think for the last hour, it actually shows up on my channel that I will be going live, but it doesn't post as live. So, yeah. Did I say all that right? I think so. This is actually a lot shorter than the talks have been lately, and I think that's probably best for the listener. Every now and again, I'll get on a rant, and I'll just start going, and I can't stop. Those are good, though. Anyway, I don't want to keep you any longer from your lives. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Share the videos. Stay tuned for some In My Stuff radio that's coming to your way. In My Stuff radio that's going to be coming to you probably over the course of the next, I would say, week or so. I'm not shadow banned yet. Hopefully we'll get into territory where people will start wondering wondering what I'm talking about, and we'll start talking in code. We'll get a whole code together we can use. Or something like that. But anyway, yeah, I'm not going to keep you from your lives any longer. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Stay tuned for more shit going to be coming your way. I haven't been as adamant on getting guests together over the last week. Honestly, I've been just run down from having so much time off, and it just wasn't fun having all this time off and stressed out over finances and things. And now that the season's picking up, I've got enough solo gigs to get me back on top this month, and solo gigs are my bill money, and I didn't have any last month. So the sun rises in the east. What was it? I saw a flock of seagulls headed west. That's what we'll say. I saw a flock of seagulls headed west. That's code for you. All right, guys, I love you. I mean it. Be good people. In a world full of shitty people, don't be that person. And YouTube folks, hang tight for a minute after I get done. I'm about to do an intro for you. Audio folks, have a good day. I love you. Peace, bitches. Hang tight, YouTubers. Let's get a little intro here done for them. Hey, guys, how you living? Are you doing well? Good. Glad to hear that. In this episode, I started off by giving a little bit of a description of what I want MI Stuff Radio to become. I don't know if I have talked to you folks about MI Stuff Radio in the audio world yet. I know the YouTubers know what it is, but I don't know if I've given you audio folks a rundown of what MI Stuff Radio is. So you'll be getting that in just a second. And also, I do a little analogy-ing, which you guys know I like to give analogies. And I did that with playing guitar and learning how to play guitar, and equated that to life. And I may have done that before, but now that I just said that, I kind of remember saying that before. But maybe it was just deja vu. Maybe it was just me in another dimension. Who knows? Who knows what's possible these days? The sun rises in the east. I saw a flock of seagulls headed west. We're speaking in code now, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody's going to know what we mean, because I don't. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble anymore. I'll do enough of that in a minute. So please go to mistuffpodcast.com. The newly added mistuffpodcast.com has all sorts of little trinkets and little buttons that you can hit, all sorts of cool toys that you can play with, and there's a lot of cool things. There's a blog there that I've been somewhat keeping current. I've been posting at least a few times a week. Was trying to do every day, but I've been taking the last couple of days off. I may do an entry for later on tonight. Yeah, and then, by the way, every time I've been doing a blog entry, I have been going live on YouTube doing like MI Stuff Radio. So basically playing original songs and things like that while I'm doing a blog entry. But yeah, I don't know if I'll do that tonight. Who knows? I never know what I'm going to do. It'll be a surprise for everybody involved, including me. Please go to the Facebook page, go to the Instagram page, go to the Twitter page, and you can find links to all of these pages on mistuffpodcast.com. So go to mistuffpodcast.com, and I'm burping up water. That was good water. But that was a hungry burp. Yes, all of the links to everything, all of my pages are on mistuffpodcast.com. You can click the welcome to the channel video to go to the YouTube page and click subscribe on that. Everything is accessible from mistuffpodcast.com. I will say that again, www.mistuffpodcast.com. Please go there. Please subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Castbox, anywhere you listen to podcasts. The MI Stuff podcast is available. So please do that. Please click share on all of the pages as well. Let's try to spread the word that we're trying to get out in this podcast, which is that we're all normal and that I have problems and that I'm trying to air these problems out. Also, YouTubers, check out this here. My brother Kerry very kindly sent me in a bottle from our sponsors of Screwball Whiskey here live at the Screwball Whiskey Studios, and for the guests whenever we have guests come on. So it's pretty awesome. One of the first sponsor gifts that we've received. And brother Kerry, I'll be shooting you a Venmo for that shipping directly, my friend. I love you. I mean it. You're doing good. You're doing great. I'm proud of you. But anyway, yep, bottle of Screwball Whiskey from our friends over at Screwball Whiskey. Go to screwballwhiskey.com, I think it is. Anyway, do that. I love you. I mean it. And without further ado, episode number 121 of In My Stuff. Enjoy, motherfuckers. All right. Let's dig this. You guys want to see something cool? That is what's up, right? Let's see something here. Let's do this. Let's see the windows. To the window. From the window to the wow. You want to see something cool? I'm gonna do this. Check this out. Let's see if I can do. Look at that. All right, and I am going to take this guy and shrink him down here. Okay, if you guys want to see something cool, this is how this works. Sorry, hopefully you can get used to the screen jumping around a little bit. I remembered that this split somewhere around here in the beginning, actually. There it is. Just saw it. Where was it? Right there. All right, I'm gonna drag this thing here. This is how I do all of the audio stuff at the end. So for those of you who've never listened on audio, it'll sound something like this at this part. I love you. I mean it. And without further ado, episode number 121 of In My Stuff. Enjoy, motherfuckers. All right, and then we'll start right there. Come down here, put a stopper, and let this thing fade out while there's still music going. Just like that, come in here and copy that. And I played the song, but let's see. That looks like song right there. Oh no, not song. That's a lot of talking there. That looks like song. Yeah, that is song.
Reflection in the hills. Landslide brought
oh my!
it down.
Landslide brought it down.
That's all I got for you today, guys.
And then like a little doom, 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 right there sounds good. How about that? Let's do this. I dig this. This is where it'll go.
That's all I got for you today, guys. Be a good person. In a world full of shitty people, don't be one of those people. Be a good person. You can do anything that you want to do. You are in absolute control of your situation. You are in absolute control of every aspect of your life. It is yours. It is.
Actually, we're going to drag this down here a little bit. Just so that it overlaps at the end just a hair. Find a good spot. Around here.
And only figure out how that is. The world is here for you for one specific thing. You just have to figure out what that one specific thing.
And you know what it is. That's what we're going with.
Is. And you've always known.
And you've always known. That's where we'll pick it up.
Just have to figure out what that one specific thing is. And you've always known. You've always known what that one thing is.
That's the one.
You've always known what that one thing is. It just takes literally you making up your mind to go and seek that thing out. To go and go balls deep into that one thing. Forget my terminology. You've always known what that one thing is. The thing that your life keeps showing you and keeps telling you this is the thing that you're supposed to do. Even those people who say, oh, I don't have anything in my life, that you're lying. You are absolutely lying. Hey guys, how you living? Are you doing well?
Good. Glad to hear that.
That's how it's done.
In this episode, I started off by giving a little bit of a description of what I want MI Stuff Radio to become. I don't know. Further ado, episode number 121 of MI Stuff. Enjoy, motherfuckers. All right. Great. Oh, that's just great. That's just great news. That's great to hear. Nobody said anything. There's no great news. There's some pretty good news. And there's a good fade out. Now then we'll check this fade out. Be that person. And YouTube folks, hang tight for a minute after I get done. I'm about to do an intro for you. Audio folks, have a good day. I love you. Peace, bitches. Sounds like a good fade out to me. See, that's why I always tell folks that now the YouTubers that are in here still, Abby, out, Joe, I don't know if you guys are still in here. It's really cool for me to do the YouTube thing, and that's what I used to do every YouTube video. I would show behind the scenes of how I do the intro and outro and everything. And for YouTubers, you guys hear all of this stuff at the end. So you guys just hear straight content, straight going into content in the beginning. And then at the end, you hear me describe what everything I just did. Audio folks get to hear that at the beginning, so it's you instead of hearing everything backwards like normal, you or like it normally is on YouTube, you guys get to hear it straight ahead on audio. So let's go ahead and do this thing. Export. Save. And then let's yeah. So that's how that's done. Heyo. Is that too much? That's too much. That's too much. Yeah. I like leaving the road in there a little bit. I don't know why I like this dark background, but I really do like it. Yeah, those are the only other things I'm doing. Unless you guys want to, gotta publish this thing now. I gotta go and do some publishing. If you guys want to hang out with me while I do the publishing, I'm gonna be sitting here anyway. May as well talk like a crazy person during it. We were ranked number 17 yesterday, and that's the highest we've ever been ranked on Podomatic. Let's see. Let's go to create. We create podcast. We have podcast to create. It's nice. Yes, add files. Here, you wanna see this thing? Let's do this. Properties. Edit. Yes. Best free podcast. Let's do this. Oh, yes. And I can go in here and do number 121. Once it's finished, it's not finished yet, is it? Nope, still normalizing. So yes, check this out. You guys see this this thing up here that says broadcaster, 28% used. That's pretty neat, huh? You see that up there? It used to be maxed out. That broadcaster thing up there is what we've paid for. The forest photo, Abby. I don't know what it. I guess I love my thinking because it's mine. It's like you love it because you have to, right? How much longer we got? It's taking a minute to convert this. Actually, no, it's coming along pretty quickly. Yeah, if you guys have never seen the... scope this bad boy out. Check this thing. How you like that? I only got 10 followers on the website. All this stuff. By the way, Sunset Grill, there's some Sunset Grill episodes down here. If you guys are into conspiracy theory and creepy stuff, you should go to the podcast and subscribe to my podcast channel here and go download these Sunset Grill episodes. We did one about the Mandalay Bay, about the Las Vegas shooting. We did one about the Mandela effect with Michael Swaim, who was from cracked.com, me and Noah Byrne and Blair Beaudry. And Tyler Brown was also in. Tyler Brown's the guy who made my MI Stuff podcast art here. We did one about the eclipse and a couple about the eclipse actually. Yeah, you guys should go subscribe to, or just go to the Podomatic site. You don't really necessarily have to subscribe, but it'd be cool if you did. Not at 121, number 121. Damn it. So much for the not cursing today. It is not my day. I am looking. Documents? No. Let's look here. There it is. Found it. Found it. Should probably give you guys something pleasant to listen to while I'm doing this instead of the silence, but I'm a crazy person. The silence makes me happy. Start upload. Let's go. Uh-oh. It takes time and patience talk. I rambled about MI Stuff radio possibilities and just about everything, huh? Compared learning guitar to just about everything. Listen for more details. All right. Listen to them details. Listen to that shit. Tell them. Click or scroll to the bottom to load more images. Yes. I'm clicking. Anytime now. MI Stuff Tyler Brown art. Let's leave that. Talk. Is it now? Is that right? Doesn't look like it is. No, it is. How you like that? Publish. Episode is published. And then we come back here. MIStuffPodcast.com. We'll give you a little bit of that to taste for a little bit there. A little bit of that. How you like that? And then we'll come back in here. And you can see me again. See, I'm new to all this technology, man. This shit is great. You know, I don't get me wrong, y'all have seen my record collection in some videos. Like, I love vintage shit, but man, this technology thing, man, that's pretty damn cool. This technology deal is pretty badass. I have to say, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty gnarly, I would say. It's pretty damn cool. So then, from there, I can go to manage so I can check and see if my podcast is published yet. I certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with me, because I would normally just be sitting here in the silence because I'm too lazy to get up and unmute the TV and be doing this instead of maybe talking to you weirdos. That's all we are, is a bunch of weirdos, right? That's all I am. All we are is a bunch of weirdos. No shit, Joe, right? I say this all the time too. People who always talk about want to do a podcast. Oh, I don't have the equipment to do it with. I'm like, yes, you do, man. You have a phone in your pocket. I'm certain. Any phone that you have in your pocket is gonna, like, the recording quality that you get from your phone sitting on a table in between you and some friends or just in front of you is gonna be better than that which Robert Johnson recorded, the King and the Sting, a new King, cockeye view. Jesus. King and the Sting podcast. I like that one a lot. Brandon Schaub and Theo Vaughn. It's pretty good. They're pretty interesting folk. But yeah, how you like that? Do wish those programs were around 15 years ago. I was just worried about those websites down there beside my picture, but you can't find anything out of that. That's just a link to my fucking actual website. But I do want to get this. Boom. The Dark Forest. Yeah, and yeah, any program that they have today that is going to be so much better than that of, you know, what people used to have back in the day. The shit that Led Zeppelin recorded most of their albums on is 100% not as good as most of the equipment that comes standard on most computers or iPhones or things like that. All right. And now what we do is we go in here, now that it is published, and we go to Podomatic on the iPhone here. Podomatic, my podcast. Let's reload it because it's not coming up with a new one yet. The It Takes Time and Patience talk. Go view this episode and copy. And then we go to the Facebook. We go to the pages. They always move shit around on Facebook. Facebook won't leave shit alone. It's like one of my favorite restaurants in the world. Used to be one of my favorite restaurants in the world. They would get something really good on the menu and then they would take it away. And I'm like, obviously the fat kid over here talking, like, bitching about them taking away menu items. But it's like, man, if it works fine, why fuck with it? I had AOL 3.0 forever. AOL 3.0 was the shit. Any AOL after AOL 3.0 was garbage. I don't care what anybody says. The same with Windows XP. Windows XP was awesome. Anything outside of that, like in Windows ME or all the other, or Windows 8 or 7 or whatever the fuck it was called, Windows XP was better than all of that shit. And that's what it was when the last time I had a Windows computer. Windows just went downhill so bad. Apple just stayed consistent as far as like how to use the programs, and everything stayed the same. Like all the shortcuts are still the same on this Apple, that the first one that I ever got. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to share things on Facebook. You're listening to WKZQ, Myrtle Beach's hot rock station. Can I do that? Podomatic link below. Apple link here. And then we get out of that and we go to our Apple Podcasts app. And we reload all of that because it will certainly be coming up soon. Not Tim Ferriss, not Doug Stanhope, not Talking Shop Braves podcast, not Your Mom's House, not Joe Rogan. Joe released 2 episodes today and only listened to one of them. I have to catch up. Gabrielle Reese. Yes, that was the one I did not listen to. There she blows. Found it. You know what's crazy is if you guys weren't here watching this, I would still be talking to myself like this. What's up, Diving? Welcome to the feed. We're just playing around after I've already done. This is all downtime. I just haven't cut the thing off yet. I did a pretty short episode, and I usually go live for about an hour and a half, so I still got a few minutes before I meet that. I get not a quota at all because I really don't have a quota of time that I have to put in here. I get to do whatever I want, and this time I decided to let you guys see what all goes into posting podcasts after I get done recording. That's fun, right? That's cool. Apple link here, paste. Apple link is just so damn long. And Spotify link here, if it is posted yet. Come on, is Spotify link posted? It probably isn't. It takes a little bit longer to do Spotify. Am I Stuff Podcast? Nope. Be Truthful All the Time is up. Be Truthful All the Time is up. So I guess no Spotify yet. Let's just go click subscribe. Click subscribe. Learning new things, ain't that right, Joe? Learning new things. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into publishing this thing that not a lot of people are aware of. Hey, Joe. So where you going with that? Speaking of Hey, Joe, I imagine we've all watched Jamie's video. Dude, what a creeper, right? What a fucking creeper. Forgive my language. I keep saying that. Like, I have this policy of like Scott Mann has this policy too, where he's like, if I speak a certain way, it doesn't matter. People are gonna hear these words eventually anyway. And he more specifically is talking about in front of kids and things. And Gary V says the same thing. Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Gary V. But Gary says the same thing. He's like, what did I say? Fuck. This is who I am. That's how I talk. I'd rather be honest and real. And I guess I would too. What? Where's the dings coming from? Yep, share. And then I go on here. I have to do that on the phone because it's easier to share things. Or not share things necessarily, but yes, easier to share things on desktop than it is mobile, but it's easier to make the actual post with mobile. So I come here on this share, not on Cornbread, not on a page I manage, on my timeline. Include original post. Episode number 121 audio links here. Click and subscribe. Y'all like the way a redneck says subscribe instead of subscribe? If I enunciated every time I spoke, that would just be drastic. It would be horrible. This would not be near as fun. Diving, I'm sorry to hear that about your daughter. Hopefully she feels better soon. Hopefully she feels better soon. So now everything is shared out on the Facebook, and the only other things I have to do is video editing things, which I'm not editing much of the video, especially on this one, just because it's fun to talk with you guys afterwards a little bit. See a little bit of what goes in behind the scenes of podcasting. Welcome Welcome to Behind the Curtain. Behind the Curtain with Joe Biden. No worries, Divin. You do your thing. I 100% appreciate all your kind words, and we got this. You take care of that. You take care of that sick baby. So I wonder what we got now. So now I've shared everything on Facebook, audio-wise. Hear how it comes out on the other side. Let's see here. Hey guys, how you living? Are you doing well? Good, glad to hear that. In this episode, I started off by giving a little bit of a description of what I want MI Stuff Radio to become. I don't know if I have talked to you folks about MI Stuff Radio in the audio world yet. I know the YouTubers know what it is, but I don't know if I've given you audio folks a rundown of what MI Stuff Radio is. So you'll be getting that in just a second. And also, I do a little analogy-ing, which you guys know I like to give analogies, and I did that with playing guitar and learning how to play guitar, and equated that to life. And I may have done that before, but now that I just said that, I couldn't remember saying that before. But maybe it was just deja vu. Maybe it was just deja vu. Maybe it's all happened before. Winds from the east. Snow coming in, like something is brewing, about to begin. Can't put my finger on what lies in store, but I fear what's to happen. All happened before. Quick trivia, what's that from? Anybody know what that's from? This kid came down a few years ago, and really good guitar player. Him and his buddy, they were literally kids. His buddy had a banjo and had a guitar, and we just literally did a little picking, as they call it. It was pretty good. He sent me a message now on the Facebook. He might be interested in getting some music on MI Stuff Radio, which I think is cool. That's a very good guess, but that actually comes from Mary Poppins, believe it or not. Mary Poppins. Didn't I have a podcast on why I quit drinking? I sure did, homie. I'll send you a link. Let's see, I got this up here. There you go, buddy. Link sent. It was part of Dick Van Dyke's dialogue in the beginning. But if you guys have seen the real movie that we're the story of P.L. Travers and how Walt Disney had such a hard time getting her to sign off on the movie. It was called Saving Mr. Banks. Such a good movie. Such a great movie. Colin Farrell, Tom Hanks plays Walt Disney. Shucks, what's her name? She plays Professor Trelawney. Emma Thompson plays P.L. Travers. I think for sure B.J. Novak and Justin Long, Justin something. The guy that played in Spun. He also played in a lot of other movies. They played Richard and Robert Sherman. Dick and Bob Sherman were the guys who wrote all of the Disney classic songs. Like they wrote Spoonful of Sugar and Supercalifragilistic. They also wrote Jesus, The Sword and the Stone, like Hockety Pockety Walkety Whack. All that crazy shit from Sword in the Stone, all those Disney songs that everybody knows and loves oh so much. I'm pretty sure they might have wrote the second. A second star to the right shines with a light for you. Peter Pan. Okay, so my brain has a lot of Disney music in it. I'm going to definitely get flagged from YouTube for playing Disney songs, right? What key would that be in? D for Disney? The second star to the right shines with a light for you, to tell you every dream you have really can come true. That's funny, right? This is how my brain works. This is what I'll end up doing for hours. Oh, here's something else cool that you guys can see that I do here. Let's go in here and I'll show you. Also, another cool thing you probably didn't know about the podcast. Another thing you did not probably know about the podcast is this. We'll pull the dark forest down here. Boom. So you can go to International Movie Database and click gotta hit enter the my stuff, not the stuff. I didn't need that. That's not what we talking about. How about this? Oh, it's easier if I don't put the actual title, huh? How you like that, IMDb? We up in this bitch. We all up in it. We all up in it. IMDb, we could it. What? Y'all ain't ready for that. Oh, Mac Arnold, Whack Arnold. Mac Arnold, let's see this. This is we do copy, paste, oh no, I bet they'll bitch if I do that, capitalized. And what's today's date? The 4th or the 3rd? It would have been the 3rd when I started this. Of April, not March. You fool. What is wrong with it? Shit. I don't know what episode number we're on. I have to do this every time. Now check out the friend Mac Arnold. I don't know, maybe I did. Maybe. Have to erase one F to find it. Episode guide. 136. 136, but last year I had 37. What's that one from? Anybody know? 31. So 2.32. I am a member of the cast and crew. Check these updates. Cast. Add 1 credit. Recheck these updates. The cast is going to be me. And look, there I is. I don't even have to finish my name. Himself, host. That's who I'm is. Submit these updates. And then that, my pretties. Oh, Mac Arnold and a plate full of blues. You know what? I didn't do that. And you know what else I didn't do? Damn it. I just remember this 10. I was supposed to go to Eve's page and check out her poetry, and I totally didn't do that. And I'm a fucking idiot for not having done that already. Shit. Sorry, Eve. No, I didn't check that out yet. I need to make a note to do that, by the way. Let me see. And a plate full of blues. That one was from Harry Potter, actually. Mac Arnold and a plate full of blues. Hell yeah, he's playing a cigar box guitar too. Hell yeah. I wonder if he has a particular channel. Live at Pisgah Brewing Company. Let's go ahead and save to watch later on that. Hells yeah. Okay, hell yeah. Ain't nothing in the world wrong with South Carolina artists. We got a pretty nice little setup of South Carolina artists, man. We got Craven Melon. I don't know if y'all remember Craven Melon, Hootie and the Blowfish. I say Craven Melon first of all of the bands I could have named, when James Brown is a South Carolinian. Also, Eartha Kitt, the original Wonder Woman, South Carolina native. My buddy, comedian Aziz Ansari from Bennettsville, South Carolina, my hometown. Aziz Ansari. Tom Haverford from Parks and Recreation. Who else is from South Carolina? We've got a pretty decent crew from South Carolina, right? All kinds of people. But yeah, here we go. I'll show you guys that we got an IMDb page for the podcast. Like, just see the full cast, all the people that's been in it. It's your brother Jamie Deluxe. Check out Jamie's page. Jamie's been on Feed the Bear with brother Owen and my stuff. That's pretty badass, huh? That's pretty cool. I think me and Jamie are the only ones that's claimed our page. Also, producers, the producer list, brother Rick Thomas. He's a subscriber on YouTube. Got him an IMDb page for producer credit. I know it's got him down here with 1 episode, but that definitely should be. I don't know. Actually, that might be right, because I didn't start doing actual episodes until I've gotten everybody else. Anybody who's ever donated has got credits. My sister helped me write an episode once. Got a lot of people up here on the IMDb page. Anybody that donates anything to the GoFundMe gets a producer credit. A little website action coming around here. That website, got the blog still rocking. This is just therapy for me, and it really is 100% just therapy for me. And all this other cool stuff I just added today. So I don't know if you guys can see it through my. Let me get my face out of the way here, so you guys can tell. I did add a tip jar over here. I got rid of the GoFundMe thing because the. All right, Joe, I'm getting out of here pretty soon too. So I don't catch you. Good to see you. Appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. I added my Instagram page over here, and I added the Facebook page up here. Actually, there should be a damn Facebook page over here. I don't know where it is. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all get out of here. It's probably that time. Oh, Joe, you talking to you preaching to the choir, man. I filed 3 years worth of taxes this past tax season. I filed 15, 16, and 17, and 18. 15, 16, 17, 18. So technically 4 years worth of taxes all at once. I got my refund done for I got my refund done. For, not a refund, but I don't get no damn refund in my shit. I owe money, dude, for real. Like I get a stack of 1099s from every place that I play gigs every year. It's agony, but it's the first year in a long time that I'm like making plans to, have a little bit put back. Have a little bit put back for whenever that shit comes around. For whenever that shit come around on me, man. From whenever that shit comes around on me, man. How y'all like this? Like, get rid of all the other gaudy stuff. You know what, man? It's not that bad. It's really not that bad, Joe or Abby. It's not bad at all. And we actually got a break here in South Carolina, and it's not something to be proud of. We actually got a break because of the hurricane that came through. The hurricane and the government shutdown all happened at about the same time. So like we got, we had like an extra 3 months to get it done. And plus, and that's 100% true. I do feel like they're always sucking funds from people, and it's not fair. And taxation is theft. And I'm a huge proprietor of taxation is theft. And, as a matter of fact, hey, I like this right here. I'm a huge proprietor of taxation being theft. How you like that, folks? How you like that, kids? It truly is. They're always sucking the funds away from people. I will tell you this real quick story before I get out of here, and I might say this story in a podcast eventually. I was going to a church camp one summer, and I went interest charge in North Carolina. Oh man, that's a bummer. That's so ridiculous. But yes. Anyway, I did this thing where every year we would go skiing or go water rafting in the winter, summertime. When summertime came around, it was time for us to go to this thing called Ichthus, and it was just a really, really badass mountain retreat that we did, and we didn't have money to go. My dad couldn't afford to send me. It was just too expensive. So we started praying for ways for us to go. So we ended up getting a return back from the state of South Carolina or the federal government. We got a check from the federal government for just enough money that it would take to send me on this ski trip or a whitewater rafting trip, actually. Anyway, so we were like, hell yeah, this is awesome. We prayed for this and God answered our prayers. So I went on this trip and I got back, and later on we realized that was around the time that I still had a large sum of money that was in my name in the bank that was an insurance settlement from the accident that I got in when I was a kid. And I'm pretty sure you guys have heard that story. Pretty sure I told you guys about, falling off the back of the car and dying 3 times on the way to the hospital and getting a large insurance settlement that would be released to me when I turned 18 and blowing all that money. I know I told that story in podcasts before. Anyway, finally realized that we had paid the taxes on the money that I had in the bank that year, and just paying the taxes on it was around $500 and $600. So we sent the check for my taxes, but apparently didn't specify what the check was for. So they sent us a check back, and this was when I was 15 years old. So they sent us the check back because we didn't specify what it was for. And after we got the money back, they waited until I turned 18 years old. So when I turned 18 years old and I got all the money back that I had due, when they gave me all the money back that I was supposed to get, I also got contacted by the IRS that I owed them back the $500 or $600 that they sent me when I was 15 years old, plus the 3 years of interest that $500 or $600 had accrued over the period of the fact that they gave me this money. I did not receive any more contact from them about this money. I didn't receive anything else. I didn't get any kind of notification that I owed them any money or anything until I was 18 years old, and then old enough to be liable for my own fucking actions or whatever. So they literally didn't say a word for 3 years. They just let the interest build up, and then I owed like a lot of money. Like it was, I want to say close to $4,000. The interest that we owed on the taxes that we technically didn't pay that year because we paid the taxes and they sent it back to us. So I don't know what the deal with that was. But since you guys, if you guys missed that podcast, I'll give you a quick once over of this story, and I'll probably end up having to do this several more times as people come and go in the podcast. But anyway, so I was 8 years old. I was selling World's Finest Chocolate. You guys remember that shit? If you didn't sell it, then you were. If you didn't sell it, then you bought it. You know, you had kids around you that would be selling it if you bought it. So I mean, this for every age group that might hear this podcast, and I can tell by my YouTube analytics and my Podomatic analytics that the age group is between my age and 50 years old. So if you didn't buy it, or if you didn't sell World's Finest Chocolate, you bought it. So I was going door to door selling World's Finest Chocolate, and my Aunt Marie was going to my Aunt Becky's house, and I was walking to the one house that was sort of far away from my house. It was like a half a mile or so. And I was walking down the road, a quarter of a mile rather, and I was walking down the road. My Aunt Marie pulled up next to me in her car and said, if you're going down to the house, I can drop you off down there. You can just jump on the trunk, and we'll drop you off down here at the end of the road, and you can just walk back to the house, you know, save you a little time. So I was like, all right, cool. Jumped on the back of my Aunt Marie's car. Yeah, right. That's exactly when I did it too, when I was a Cub Scout. But anyway, I jumped on the back of my Aunt Marie's car, and whenever I went to get off, I slipped and hit my head pretty hard on her trunk and the road, and probably the bumper as well. Probably pretty sure I hit my head really hard 3 times. And that gave me quite a significant concussion, I'm pretty sure. But it also caused a blood clot inside my brain. And I remember, I don't know, it just caused a blood clot inside my brain. And I don't really remember anything after that. I remember them telling me they got me in the back of the car because they said an ambulance would take too long. They got me in the back of the car and took me to the hospital, And then as soon as I got to the hospital in my hometown, Marlboro Park Hospital, they told me that I wasn't going to make it. Told my parents that I wasn't going to make it. They said that any chance of me having any kind of sort of a normal life outside of a vegetative state would be to get me to Florence really quick, which was about an hour away from where I was then. So they got me in an ambulance and started sending me to Florence, and they had to bring me back 3 times. Like I flatlined 3 times on the way to the hospital in Florence. So passed away 3 times in the ambulance on the way to Florence, and they finally got me there. And the surgeon performed his surgery on me. They had to shave my head. They had to pop a hole in my skull and then go in and like do a skull cap. You guys can't see it at all, but you might can. I can probably find let me look here. See if I can find a picture of the scar back when I had my hair short. But anyway, I've got this nice little scar on my head. They popped that open and they had to do brain surgery on me. And they said that I wasn't literally, that if I ever made it out, if I ever made it out of that I would never be normal again, which is accurate. And I make that joke every time I say this because I'm not normal. But, yeah, no, not friends, photos. But yes, I ended up getting, after that all went down, I did end up getting like a pretty significant amount of dollars on an insurance settlement after I ended up making it through. And actually, I skipped over a very important part of the story. After the surgeries went down and my parents were told that I probably wouldn't be normal again, which is accurate, I'll say once more. And once they got me out of the damn surgery and everything, I had my great grandmother who wanted to stand in prayer for me. And when stand in prayer in church, for church groups, stand in prayer means that somebody would go and literally go to the altar, kneel down at the altar, and the church family would come and lay hands on this person and pray for them. And that's how that went. And that's how people did things back then. And I'm sure that they still do them that way. But I'm trying to find a random picture of my head so you can see the scar. I can see it here in this one if I zoom in enough. No. But yeah, you can't. Never mind. But anyway, yeah. So my grandmother was kneeling down at the altar, standing in prayer for me, and my neighbor, Miss Geraldine Strickland, said that she's had a vision of me running down the halls of the hospital. And sure enough, the next day I was up. Like, well, not the next day, like shortly after she had that vision, I was literally up running down the halls of the hospital. And that was a miraculous thing, to say the least. And I don't remember anything else ever really happening like that in my life. Like, that was probably the biggest like bad thing that's happened in my life, where I literally could have gotten killed. And it's not like the whole swatting thing to where it's like, oh, random somebody came into my house. Oh, well, if I wouldn't have been a certain way, I could have got killed, blah, blah, blah. But this is actual, like, shit. Could have died, man. Could have died. And there are all these pictures that I have short hair. I'm like not turned to the side where that scar is. It's not like it's important. It's pretty significant. It looks like a horseshoe. I've got a horseshoe in my head. It starts here and it goes all the way around to here. I'm glad I made it too, Joe. I appreciate it. I'm glad I made it too, man. That was a rough thing. That was a damn rough thing, man. And the thing that sucks is it wasn't the accident and the concussion that I surely suffered from and all of that bullshit that bothers me the most. What bothers me the most is how fucked up my life became after the money. Like getting all that money, and when I turned 18, and I might have found one. Let me see here. You can almost see it in that picture, I think. I really appreciate y'all's kind words there. Appreciate your kind words there. take screenshot from selection. Let's see if I can. I'm trying to. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. Yep, up running without any now I did have to do some rehab therapy. I did have to do some rehab therapy after I did, and after I got done, you know. Literally, they were like, "Stop! You know, calm down. Like you don't need to be running down the hall right now. You've just had like a traumatic experience." But I'm gonna try to flip this around here and let's see if I can. Which one I'm on here? Come down here to the window capture and. There we go. All right, now you guys might not can see this good, but look at old skinny me. Look at young me. You guys can see like sort of. I have you can look up into my hair right under where my sunglasses are on top of my head on. What would be, as you're looking at, would be the left side, but would actually be my right side, if you get what I mean. You can see that there's a little scar, that where a little shadow of skin that you can see in a circle that sort of goes around my entire head. And if you kind of look at it a little, like you can just see the skin. You can see the skin on my head through my hair. You can see the little line that goes on. My hair was a little longer here than it used to be. Well, a lot shorter. It's a lot shorter than it is. My hair is now, obviously, but I used to like keep my hair like trimmed up pretty solid. But yeah, this is. You can see the little scar there that goes around. You can't see my cursor, can you? No, you can't. But that scar is a ditch that goes all around my head. It goes right here. You could feel it right there in my head. I got too much hair now. One day I might cut my hair short enough to where people can see it again. But who knows? Who knows anything anymore? But yeah, that's the big bad scar that I had. That's the big bad scar that I had back in the day. I've still got it. But that's where all that came from. And I know it's not really important for. I know it's not really important to just show you guys all this stuff and tell you that, but only reason I wanted to is because you guys said you hadn't heard that story, you missed that podcast, but I definitely don't want people to miss out on information, you know. Who knows anything anymore? I say that a lot. Who knows anything anymore? The world's upside down. We live in a bizarro world. We got the former vice president of the United States on video feeling up a bunch of women like a creeper, and what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do in the world? Like where do we go from here? Where are we gonna actually? And you guys are all from Jamie's channel pretty much, and we're all about the same thing, and we're all about trying to bring negativity to light. And like showing like not negativity to light, but just shining a light on these people that are doing these things. Like what are we gonna do when the people don't want to listen anymore? What are we gonna do when the people are just like, oh yeah, I don't really care what this guy did. It doesn't really affect me much. Fuck it, I'll vote for him. I wonder if that'll happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. But who fucking knows? Who knows anything anymore? I've kept you guys for way too long tonight. I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I love you, Joe. I love you, Abby. Love you. I love everybody out there. Love each and every one of you. Be good people. I don't want anybody out there to have a bad day. But if you do have a bad day, make the best choice and try to fucking push through it, because that's all we can do is just push through the bad days, right? How you like that? There's another hungry burp. It's probably time to address that situation. Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I truly love you. I truly do. Be good people. Peace, bitches.